Shazam! Now, what's up? It's your boy Carcito here, and welcome back to Screen Fiend. And don't forget, let's get those likes up for this video. I want to see the likes go up. And you can donate to the Cash App. My name is Carcino on the Cash App, in case you guys didn't know. And let's get into it. Now, you know I've seen Shazam. I've done the Shazam review, and if you hadn't seen the movie Shazam, shame on you. We're going to do our spoiler version. Right now, you've seen 1,000 spoiler reviews for this film, but let's get into it right now. This is a great movie. Not perfect movie, but it's great. They did all they could in the limited time that they had. They tried to develop a story that was heartfelt, and you really felt for the guy, and you did. You know, you saw him get left at the park by his no-good mom. He's been searching for his mom for years. He's running away from foster homes, trying to search for her, and then all of a sudden, they're like, look, she just don't want you. You know, like, they know it. Like, you got to accept it. Now he's in a group home, and you got all these group home kids, and he's trying to fit in. And they're just like, come on, why isn't he accepting us? And they're very open, and he's just all about self. Now, the only problem I had is that character that played Billy Batson is not the same as the character when he turns into Shazam. He's supposed to be the 14-year-old boy. Their energies are not the same. Once he turns into Shazam, he's no longer looking for his mom. He's got all these special powers. Now he wants to play with this. Now he's totally, instead of saying, let me use my powers to try to find my mom, which has been his quest as a 14-year-old boy since he was a little baby and he got left at the doggone park. So now things have gone into a whole new direction. And then it goes to the villain, who was a little kid they show in the beginning, gets rejected from the powers of Shazam. And Shazam has the power of his whole family and a staff, and Mark Strong just gets rejected, as many has been rejected. And he's lived with this rejection his entire life. So now he's an adult male, and he's for 30 years been trying to get back there, trying to find information from other people who have had these visions, who've all been there, and all these people who were rejected. He's trying to find out a way to get back there. So he finds his way back. And when he goes back, he goes through the tunnel, he goes through the door. And when he goes back, he goes there to claim what's his. He gets rejected again. But the 7 deadly sins, see, this is their opportunity. So they choose him to be their champion. And it ends up breaking a glass that released something that you guys will find out about later. So now, with all this resentment from his rich corporate family, he goes and takes out revenge with the 7 deadly venoms all in his body. But he cannot, all of them can't leave his body. If they do, then he's powerless. So they do that only in selected situations. So they came out, extract revenge on his family, took them all out. Then the last one that always stayed with him was envy. That's the one that normally stayed inside of him the most, because envy is more attached to him, because that's his sin the most. The other ones would go out and do their bidding. They were just using him basically as the host. But he was powerful. But they needed that power of Shazam. Now they had the power of Shazam. Now they can rule the entire world and nothing can stop them. And that brings us to the movie. So Shazam is trying to stop him, but it's so funny the way he's going through learning and doing all these things with his powers, and he has to learn how to fly at this point and go through all these different things. So then you're meshing in the other characters in this group home. I think they did a good job with like some of the characters, but like the main character, I think her name was Maggie. She was going to college and everything. They couldn't really find a place for her character. I think they tried. Shazam saved her, and the way she kind of sped things along, it was like, that's Billy. I'm like, how did you make that a jump from a 14-year-old kid to a grown man? Who makes that kind of like that's way out the box? Just off like off a whim. Like okay, yeah, that's acceptable. So anyway, he has to fight this guy and find a way to beat Mr. Sinister, Dr. Sinister, whatever. So he beats him. All right. But before that, he gives the power. He realizes, I got to get a power and the power of my brothers. He was like, wait a minute. Everybody grab this and say the word that I say. Shazam! And here comes the Shazam family, and everybody is perfect. They are identical. Adrian Brody looks just like the kid that played in It. Perfect casting for them going older. The little girl who was so adorable, I think her name was Myra. Myra, don't quote me on it. Megan Good plays her when she gets older, and she still reminds you of that little girl who just became big. And everybody had their superpowers and was pretty much, powerful. They all were powerful. They all were battling the other 7 deadly sins that came out. So the Shazam family were all fighting together. And it made for a very interesting and intriguing fight. And, they had to speed the story right along. This is the first time they've got the power. These guys are learning how to do certain things right off the bat. Something that his character at 14 can't seem to do. And had to go to half of the movie learning how to use his powers. They were learning in the middle of a fight. With guys who know exactly how to use their power. So, Star Wars all over again. Now, oh man, my back has been killing me for a couple of days. Um, Here's another thing. The guy at the end of the movie, right? That guy's name, that worm that shows up in the end credit, is no other than Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is a perfect character to bring into this film. You know why? Because Mr. Mime don't mind. Mr. Mime comes in and he's the wormy guy that comes in and worms everybody out of stuff. And he doesn't die. He's been around for thousands of years. He knows the whole history of the Shazam people. And he says, this is not the other way. It's not the only doorway to magic. People think that's the only doorway. There's plenty of other doorways into magic. So you're going to have the magic universe that's going to open up in DC. And you're going to go into the Shazam world, which is nothing but magic, and you're going to learn about Black Adam and everything else. And Black Adam's time was way before Billy Batson. And you're going to see he's the one that's responsible for killing the other brothers. That the reason that they were in the staff and it was only one left, it was because of Black Adam. Now, that Wormy guy is a master villain, very powerful, Mr. Mind. Can't be killed. Shazam powers don't work on him. So it's going to be quite difficult for them to fight him. Now that he's freed, he's going to take Mark Strong's character and they're going to come back in part 2. Now, what does this mean? The Rock has orchestrated almost everything in this film. The Rock is an executive producer of this film. A lot of people didn't know that because if he's going to come out with his Black Adam movie, it has to be continually a successful Shazam movie first. Now, it was supposed to be a Shazam movie and then a Black Adam movie. But now they're going to have a Shazam movie, and since Shazam did so well, now we can infuse that into a Black Adam Shazam movie in which we have the infamous cover with Superman, Shazam, and Black Adam fighting each other. We might see that in the second or third that might be introduced. Now, we had the cameo of Superman that showed up at the lunchroom in the high school in the Shazam movie. I thought it was great the way they did it. That way nobody's, worried about a cameo who's there. You didn't see the head of Superman, you just saw the outfit come in and people's like, oh, it's Superman. So, on that note, I'll leave it there. Can't wait to see what's going to happen in the sequel. The sequel will be a lot much better because you don't have to explain so much. And now people get it and they enjoyed the film because it was funny. Now this thing's going to get a little serious with the funny. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. Anyway, you've probably seen it a couple of times. What did you think about it? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm out.